Welcome to the Nebraska Democratic Party 2016 Presidential Election Caucus Series. I'm Lisa Fricke, and this is Chauncey Brown, Chair of the Young Democrats. Welcome.
Thank you.
I want to start with the purpose of this series of interviews is to explain how the affiliated caucus organizations can be tools to implement the NDP inclusion plan and for the presidential caucus and the delegate selection plan. We're a big party, and we want a wide spectrum of Democrats across the state to participate. So let's begin. Would you tell us a little bit about the Young Democrat Caucus and what led you to become chair?
Of course. So the Young Democrat Caucus in the Nebraska Democratic Party is anybody up to the age of 36 years old. And anybody can be a member, whether they're a member of their local chapter, college, high school, or county chapter, or just a young Democrat. Democrat that is under the age of 36 is considered a Young Democrat. I myself got involved in our county level Young Democrats group, and from there became chair and moved up as national committee woman and then president of our state chapter.
Wow, that's nice that you're the chair and also the data collector for NDP. Would you tell us a little bit about the work of the Young Democrat Caucus and what are your organizational goals or plans for the future?
So our major goal is to, of course, get young people elected to office. We do that by working within our chapters to help knock doors, make phone calls, raise money, help work events, different things like that with our young people that are running. We've had some good examples in the past couple years of young people that were previous members of our group. Matt Hansen, State Senator Matt Hansen is a good example. So that's our major goal. Outside of that, our main goal is just to get young people involved. We want to make sure that high schoolers know that in Nebraska there are other Democrats in their towns, and there are places that they can go and express their views and maybe in a safer environment than what they're normally used to. So
that's really good. I'm just wondering, how many members do you have currently?
That's a hard number to do because we do technically any Democrat that's under the age of 36 is considered a Young Democrat. We do have, I think, probably 5 or 6 chapters in Lincoln, probably about 3 or 4 chapters in Omaha. We have chapters in Kearney, in Hastings, and we're trying to start chapters all over the state. So
I think that's an awesome goal to get more Nebraska young people active in other parts of the state, especially out there in the 3rd District.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. And then also, as the NDP data process person, have you had opportunities to train the Young Democrats in the van and minivan?
Yeah, so one of our main goals, not main goals, but one of the things that I do as well is to help train the younger people because they are constantly working on campaigns, helping poll lists, helping run campaigns, volunteering. So a big part of what I do is training them to use Vote Builder and how to use it correctly.
I was wondering if a candidate wants to get the assistance of the Young Democrats, say in the Omaha or Lincoln area, are they willing to travel to Lincoln or Omaha to assist a candidate? And is there a suggested thing for the candidate to do to kind of help pay back the students? I mean, whether it's pizza or whatever.
We always like to get our pizza and beer. It's a good way to pay the Young Democrats to get some work done, as long as, of course, we're over 21. But yeah, we're willing to travel. I mean, we've traveled all over the state in different times. We've even at times traveled outside of the state to help some of our YD friends in Kansas with their elections and things like that. So we like to travel. We like to do the work. It makes us feel like we're a part of the process.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that. So that's an awesome assistance for the candidates, and that's good labor. Now let's talk about your plans to reach out to members and potential members throughout the state to engage them in their own county caucus. Do you have plans for that?
We've been working with our local chapters, our exec committee, to inform them of what's going on. And we have also been working to encourage them to get involved in the caucus process. So to become a precinct captain or an LD captain, to help out that way. So it's kind of a chapter by chapter we're working through that to try to encourage these people to be involved, and also explaining that if you want to try to go to national convention later, caucus is the first step.
Okay, that's good to know. I was wondering out, say for instance, in the 3rd district, it's pretty sparse out there. So are there volunteers from the NDP party that are willing to go out to these places and help train the YDs, or has that started yet?
It hasn't quite started yet. It is part of the process that we are going to be going out, and our exec committee plans on working very hard. In the past, we've had a pretty strong delegation to the National Convention of YDs, and we want that to happen again. First step, of course, is getting them to go to caucus and to get them involved. So we're going to work with our groups in Hastings and Kearney, especially because we already have groups there. But in other areas, we have some kids out in Scottsbluff that want to help out, and different things like that. So
that's great. I also heard that the Young Democrats were well represented at the National Convention and that some offices were obtained. You want to tell us how many chairmanships or offices that the YDs hold nationally?
For sure. So Joey Adler, our current national committee man, is the vice chair of the Young Democrats of America LGBTQ caucus, and then Edison McDonald, our current vice president, is the vice chair of the Rural Caucus. That's
great. There are several helps that you can get from the NDP, a variety of items that are available to help you with the caucus. And I just want to name a few of these, if you have a pen or pencil to write it down. It includes an interview with Charlene Ligon, the NDP caucus chair. She does a fantastic job of explaining in detail what you need to do through the process to get to eventually the national convention, but the main focus now is the caucus. And you can reach her directly at charlene.ligon@nebraskademocrats.org. Her phone number is 402-215-1571. You may also go to the NDP website, nebraskademocrats.org. It's a great site. It's kept up pretty well, I think. And the caucus website is nebraskacaucus2016.org. This site contains all the documents and forms necessary to hold a successful caucus, as well as PowerPoint presentations. Also, they can contact our dear interviewer here, Chauncey Brown, at chauncey@nebraskademocrats.org, or you can call her. She's willing to take phone calls, 402-434-2180. Are there any other last-minute things that you would like to share with our audience about the Young Democrats?
Just that the Young Democrats are very excited to get to work and have a good campaign season coming up, and the chance to represent Nebraska at the National Convention.
That would be great to have many of them representing us. So best wishes to you as you're getting these caucuses off the ground throughout the state with the Young Democrats. I'm sure it'll be very successful. And don't forget that March 5th is the target date for the state caucuses. So participating in the caucus helps us build our Nebraska Democratic Party, so get involved.